I doubt I have anything clever to say before the battery runs out, but I thought I'd make a quick little vlog. I just ingested a bit of cannabis, and it's making me experience things in a very subtle and profoundly different way from the way my consciousness is normally structured. It makes me able to tap into other planes of thought, other dimensions almost, that give me some amount of clarity on my perception, my place in the existential scheme in my waking life. The key is to translate out what you learn here in this landscape, this language of neural programming that you've developed up from smoking. Learning how to translate that into something tangible and meaningful in the real world. And when you can make that translation, I think you break through and you bring something back that's incredible and beautiful. But it takes a certain amount of skill, and you have to continuously foster it. And it in principle would work with even far better with heavy psychedelics. But even on the threshold of altered consciousness, the direction and the patterns in which your consciousness are being altered are categorically, qualitatively different from the way your neural patterns would work if you were intoxicated with alcohol. That just turns things down. It's roughly dissociative. But the different receptors that THC specifically targets, and also the receptors, specifically serotonin receptors, that the tryptamine hallucinogens target, such as psilocybin, LSD, DMT, those all seem to give people experiences which they claim have some sort of noetic quality. Now, if this noetic quality can ever become something other than ineffable, if we can capture it in language, which is rather elusive, then perhaps we can really start to map out altered states of consciousness in the sort of way that Terence McKenna would have liked to have seen in his lifetime. And I think it's really up to our generation, because we have internet, which is a connectivity of information which is unprecedented in history. Anybody right now in the world can find out, just about anybody in the world, except maybe heavily censored places like China, they can find out about psychedelics, and they can research it, and they can learn things that just wouldn't have been available years ago, all sorts of knowledge. So if these people take seriously the charge to sort of use psychedelics and other things to expand our mind into the ever-changing future that we're going into in the next few years, if people do that in a systematic and thoughtful way, I think it's very possible that as a collectivity we will realize something greater in the human scope of knowledge, something that's probably far outside the parameters of positivistic scientism. But it's up to us to try to map out that consciousness. So I'm going to try to make some little vlogs from time to time to chip in my 2 cents on exactly how consciousness can be expanded, and you can experience things that you certainly would have never experienced without expanding your consciousness, and you can learn a great many things. So I hope others will join me in this and post their vlogs about various thoughts on psychedelics and mapping out the human mind.